Outdoor sports. I see you down there too. You down there? You start that walk around shit. How good do you want it, baby? My nigga down there.
No, you think all this shit? So you know what? Have you seen Congress? You still got a country club.
Get some knowledge.
What's up, baby? Yeah, big teacher got a country club, huh? What's up?
You gonna get it, baby.
How do you explain this shit? I learned a lot right now.
CB, you gonna learn.
NFL has a legal right to later set up an entertainment company to fix games. The only way that'll get fixed is if the government pulls the antitrust law. Period.
What's up, sports fans? This is Al York Sports from the Al York Sports Show, presenting you rigged, fixed, or games being tampered with. Trust me, you guys want to tune into this show. It's based on opinions and opinions only. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to play devil's advocate with both sides. Both sides is going to get it from me, or why they thinking what they thinking, and they got to prove to me why they thinking what they thinking. And you're not going to know this unless you guys tune in tonight to the Al York Sports Show. Welcome to Fixed, Rigged, and Games Being Tampered With. My live guest today is Noah Parker, AKA The Secret Weapon. Glad to have you, everybody.
Always.
My question to you, Noah Parker, do you think that sports is 100% legitimate? And if yes, explain. If no, explain.
Well, there's a little bit of a gray area. I'll say that. I think it's legitimate for as far as you can get with everybody else. Now, there's going to be people that haven't got paid. That's going to get talked to by people that, opportunities there to make money. So that's gray area that's going to happen, not just with athletes. So I can't say for a fact that I think it's 100% fully nothing being tampered with, because there's going to be outliers. But for the most part, it's as legit as it can get.
Okay, give us an example when you say legit as it can get. What do you mean by that? To the person that thinks the game is fixed, explain to him why you think it's like that.
Well, I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you a really good example, especially because you would really understand this example.
Right.
As a football fan. In the NFL, which is, would you say, the highest moneymaker, right?
Right.
So unquestionably, if the NFL was rigged, they'd want to make money out of it, the NFL, I'm sure. So the Cowboys would be making more playoff appearances. They'd be putting more money, more revenue into it. They'd fix games for America's team that has one of the highest audiences, and everybody buys the memorabilia, everybody buys into them, they put so much money into this team. This team would win more than once every 3 decades, right? Not trying to shade your team, but I'm just saying, this team would get a lot more exposure if the NFL was rigged, even for a little bit. That's just one example.
Right. Well, there's millions of people, because I'm a YouTuber. I've been in Las Vegas over 12 years, and every time I talk to people and I bring this conversation up, they all very opinionated. And let me make sure, because I know one time I spoke to you and you said those are all losers. These guys are not actually all losers. No, these guys actually use that against them, like the line setters, for example, when they make a favorite that shouldn't be a favorite by -3. My thing to you is, how do you make a team that should be an underdog a favorite, and then it covers? It's confusing. I'm not saying that's why it's fixed. I'm just saying a lot of times we see that. Why is it that? Like, why would you make a team that should be an underdog a favorite and then they win? Like, that's my question to you. I know you've seen that multiple times. I've seen it, but me and you can make lines up. We've done it before. So why would it be a team that should be the underdog favorite and then they cover and win the game? How do you explain that to these people that are thinking that's what they mean by this sport thing being not legitimate? What you tell these people when it comes to that?
There's going to be games like that sometimes, and then the other way to look at it is sometimes people think that's telling me to take the other side. Like yesterday, for an example, there's a team right now, the Phoenix Suns. Everybody's all on them. And everybody saw Phoenix Suns are only 3-point favorites against the Chicago Bulls. How is that line so low? It just looked like, there's going to be people that bet it, but there's also going to be teams that stay away from it and go the other way because they'll think, oh man, this has got to be something funny with this. They want you to take that side. So there's both ways coming in. The casinos, the books, the bookmakers, the line makers, they know that. They're going to get action both ways. Because if the line was really wrong, power ratings wise, they would get hammered by sharp bettors that know what the line really should be, and they would get crushed, and you can't do that every time. So looking at that aspect, remember there's different ways people view lines. They're gonna get it both ways, and people are gonna jump on public teams no matter what, and people are gonna jump on the sharp side no matter what. And that's why when you see that line that's funny from your perspective, there's other people that see that other opposite perspective that think, I'm not touching that, it looks like it's too good to be true. And you just get that from both ways, and that's why sometimes the line looks funny, but you gotta make it that, because if it's what you think it really should be, that other person is gonna think that line is not what it should be. So it goes both ways, and that's why when it comes to making lines, sometimes you're just gonna see that. That's just gonna happen.
Okay, so that's basically, it could just be mistakes done by the people that create the lines, etc.
Mistakes.
I don't see it like the mistakes that obvious to be making, but there's usually a reason why certain things are done. Would you agree to that?
Or they want action from both sides. That's the reason they do it that way.
No, that's if the line starts off a certain way and then they move it where they
because all they got hit.
But I'm just saying, if it opens up like that, it's kind of funny.
Hey, they just had a wrong line. I've seen wrong lines made a lot of times, and that's why many people look at overnights. A lot of sharp bettors, a lot of guys that do this for a living. Right when that line comes out at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, they're already seeing, they're jumping on mistakes with lines that are supposed to be what their numbers say it should be, and then it gets hammered and all of a sudden it moves quick. Right.
Okay, so that's a different perspective as far as rig fix or games being tampered with. Now I'm going to go back to where I the main part of what I wanted to talk about with Mr. Noah Parker. We had an ex-referee named Tim Donahue, who ref for 13 seasons from 1994 to 2007 until he was in an illegal gambling scandal. He refed in 772 games, 20 playoff games. He has placed over tens of thousands of dollars of bets himself on the NBA to start a gambling scheme which he participated in. Now my question to you might go, that's only one guy. But this is the thing, Noah. He already said there was a lot more people involved. Not only that, usually when they catch one guy in anything in life, there's usually more behind that one guy. So how do you answer to the people that been like, Noah, it's been proven that a referee been cheating? How do you not believe these games are funny when we got the proof right here with Tim Donahue? So how do you convince them? Like if we had a juror in front of us, how do you convince the jurors that this game is legit? Knowing this information right here.
Yeah, that's a rogue wolf. Though at the end of the day, he was a rogue wolf, and he got the biggest punishment they could give to him, so nothing else out. I'm sure he kept his mouth shut so everybody else could get snitched on. So he took the biggest penalty. He took one for the team. Back decades ago, this happened. So. It was before social media and everything. Everything is under scrutiny. Cameras are everywhere. It's hard to really do something like that compared to 1999, 2003 time frame. And they were using payphones and you could keep stuff on the low a lot easier compared to today.
So what you're telling me in the audience is that this happened, but they cleaned up the backyard, and now you think it's 100% legitimate. Just like any other crooked business, that the feds go in or the cops go in and they clean it up and then everything, so now you think everything has been cleaned up.
Because what they make.
So everything's legitimate, is what you're telling me.
The money they make is good enough for them to make a good living. They make what, $250,000 to $500,000 a year. The top of the top line referees, umpires, etc.
But some people, there's never enough money.
Of course not, of course. And especially when you have control, but he was made an example of. They know what happened to him. They don't want it to happen to them. And a lot of it is, here's the main issue with fixing a game. Okay, you're gonna try to make as much money as you can on fixing the game.
I mean, I wouldn't know what route they'll take because I don't do that. but I have an opinion. You would want to milk. Of course, you would want to milk.
Now, the problem with making as much money as you can make is the limits are not high enough to make what they're making in a year. Go to any book, the most you can put down in the game, a dime to 2 dimes. Now, if you hit different books, that's not enough money to get my fix on. If I'm making $500,000 a year, 2 dimes ain't gonna do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? So you can't.
Listen, I want to throw something funny. This is gonna be the comedy part of the show. Lonzo's Ball brothers had money, right? The family got money.
Right.
Wherever he was at, he stole underwears and all that.
Right.
So what I'm trying to tell you, it don't matter how much money you got, people want more.
I get that, yeah.
So I'm trying to explain this to the audience, and like I said, I'm not taking on side, I'm playing devil's advocate with them, and I'm gonna do the same with the other guys that are coming on. And then another thing, last but not least, because we gotta end the session soon, ex-NFL running back, Arian Foster, 4 Pro Bowl guy. The guy was a great running back for the little bit of years that he played, had over 6,500 yards. He said on a content on social media, he indicated that his NFL career was based on everything was scripted for him. Now, that's hard to believe, me being where I'm at, but my thing is, to him to go all out like that, what does he gain from this? Like, without, keeping it real. It's not like he's gonna gain. It ain't like Canseco when he wrote the book, he was gonna gain from that. I mean, he lost good people, but he gains little money. Arian Foster is just basically dry snitching, if you ask me. But the thing is, it's only dry snitching if he's saying what he's saying is true.
He's trolling everybody.
So what I'm telling you is,
time troll job. And to me, I love trolling people. You see me on Twitter. I troll all day. That's the best part of Twitter. It's free entertainment. Making people think, oh, wow, you know what? This might be, it's just a big troll job. He's just laughing in the back. He got his money. He don't need all that. At the end of the day, it's just, you can't script something like this. You know this in anything. Imagine trying to script a whole league of players and games to go down a certain way. It's impossible. You notice, it's actually comical when he said that. Everybody laughed. Right. It was just a big troll job. He knows he's trolling people, and now you're starting to see scripts come out on fights. Jake Paul's script came out.
Right.
Do this. There's a script on the Super Bowl. The game's supposed to land on this. It's just everybody's having fun with it now.
Well, I'm gonna totally agree with your take on that, because I'm the raw truth. I go by the raw truth. I'm gonna totally agree with that. But where I could disagree at, let's just say, crying out loud, I'm not saying this is a fact, but referees definitely control momentum to the game.
Of course.
That's very possible. Yep. So what I'm saying is, if let's just say, crying out loud, if they need an under because the whole world's on the over, that can happen if the referees are involved in such action like that. Because flags on, every time they go for a ball, all you gotta do is throw a flag. So this is why, like you said, there's a lot of gray areas. I'm hoping it's legit, because I'm a total sports dude. I want it to be legit, but is it legit? Just like you want your wife to be loyal, I want my wife to be loyal. But if your wife is constantly going out to a club and my wife is constantly going to a bar, who's to say she's 100% loyal? And the reason why I use these places, because these are places where it's easy for them to do that. Man, if she's home with you, that's a different ballgame. So that's just my point. Any last words you want to add on to back up what you said, everything today?
The good thing about this is everybody knows referees and umpires make mistakes, and make a lot of mistakes.
I know, because I used to be an umpire and referee myself.
They go both ways, both teams. People see funny stuff. It's crazy. The majority of people that say games are fixed and rigged are the same guys that are pretty much broke or have 16 parlays, 18 parlays. They're not the guys that are, caked up with paper, because if it was rigged, they know about it, and they'd be on that side. But
for the guys I know,
it's always a complaint.
I know the guys that are winning because they're seeing the funny stuff.
There's some guys like that, but it's a lot of people that complain about it. 90% of people that say
Jerry Nugget guys
and fixed are the people that ain't got nothing.
Jerry Nugget guys.
It's those guys that are up there that just complain because they got losing tickets in their pocket. But the thing is, the game and control board would be up under this. There'd be a lot more people getting, the heads would be rolling. The people would be getting in trouble. You can't legitimately fix stuff, especially in-game. There's not enough money you can make off an in-game on one call where you can get caught up, because everything's getting scrutinized. Like I said, it's all on video now. And like I said earlier, the limits are not high enough to fix a game to where you're gonna stack your pockets up for one game. Now we've seen it in boxing, we've seen it in tennis. And a lot of times when they get caught, because they always do, because it's obvious when you're fixing a tennis match, or in boxing, you've seen guys go down on, flash punches, not just Ali and whatever, but it just doesn't look right. They got in trouble for it. It's happened. The guys got kicked out the ATP in tennis. Bill Belichick tampering footballs. We saw him tamper. Right. We see stuff tampered with all the time.
Yeah,
coaches to win
got
games.
A guy that told me he only bet animals because animals don't cheat. You can overfeed your horse.
No, you can pull the reins back on the carts too, and
that's what I'm saying.
I've seen them pulling those carts.
Anything to be big fixed or tampered with.
But you're not going to risk your job or how much you're making for one game fix, because there's not enough money you can make on that. And if you say, oh, just that referee's trying to get all these people on the under off it, man, that referee is not getting paid enough to fix that game for everybody else, because he'd be getting involved too, and he would try to get more money than he's making for his organization.
Okay, let me rephrase. How about if a call came from up top to do that?
Up top who? Who's up top?
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what they say.
Up top? God?
I'm telling you what they say.
That's just hearsay.
I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I don't even know who's up top.
There's no
they
up
just
top.
said that the up top.
You hear that phone call all the time.
I guess the NFL, now that they linked on to the gambling, let's say they make the call.
That up top for years, because it just must have started in the last 2 years. Up top, because up top, every time people think up top, they think Robert De Niro in Casino calling the book saying, "Oh, we got this out. We need it there." At the end of the day, everybody knows you can't really fix a result of it, especially big games, because too many people watching. But the small games, people say, "Oh man, the Monmouth against Sacramento State game is fixed a little bit." Those are the games that have the smallest limits. You can't bet more than 500 without them moving the numbers. You can't fix a game like that.
Right.
But people just, they get up and they see stuff that looks funny. And at the end of the day, it's just referee and umpire error, because we're not perfect. Nobody. You see that 3-0 call all the time. Strike. What strike? The ball was way down here. That's just error by umpire. You see it, and you see bad flags called. You saw the Knicks game yesterday. Tyler Herro's feet inbounds. Referee made a bad call. He just
right.
Errors.
No, mistakes and errors happen
all the time.
Mistakes and errors happen. We get that.
Sue them for fixes.
Okay, listen. We don't want to overkill. I got your perspective. It's a great perspective. I want to thank you for coming on the show, giving your perspective. Folks, this is Noah Parker, a.k.a. The Secret Weapon. This is my guy. This is his opinion. Y'all go with whatever y'all thinking. And I got more guys coming on. Noah Parker, good work.
Appreciate it.